Hey, what's up guys, Jacob here. I'm gonna be doing a discussion video. This video I'm gonna be going over some Honda. Mostly gonna tie him into the lack of like hit confirming in the game. I'm gonna go over like special moves and also some reversal problems, right? Reversals, I'm gonna go over some defensive options, corner pressure problems, right? And just my issues and I'm gonna give some of my opinions on what they can do to change it, or some ideas I have on what they can do to change some of these things up. But yeah, so here we go. Alright, so I'm gonna go over Honda. So my main issue with Honda is the lack of hit confirming, right? Most good Hondas are really good at their defense, right? They're really good at keeping you like at bay with the headbutts, and they're really hard to jump in on, right? They have good defense, right? In that sense, in neutral, right? But the problem is their offense is too easy in a sense. Like being offensive with Honda doesn't really have any risk. That's the problem. So for example, a lot of his block strings, right? This is a safe block string. Look how much drive gauge I took away. Remember, a headbutt takes away 1 bar of drive gauge, right? And he can do a sequence to where he guarantees that he gets that special move on hit or on block, right? And another problem is that on hit, this is safe too. Like it's a combo, right? Right, it's a combo. He has these combos that are block string. It's weird that the different headbutts have different spaces, even though the frame data for all of them are all the same. That I don't get. They're all -4, yet they don't always lead to this in the same space, which is weird, right? If I recall correctly, in 5 they had different frame data for the headbutts. Why in this game they're all the same, I don't know. That really makes no sense. But yeah. So there's no hit confirming. A fundamental aspect, right? Hit confirming. You know, you practice a lot and it becomes easy to do, right? But you don't have to do that with Honda. You don't have to focus on that when you play him. You can just do combos, right? And just work on just like pressuring players, you know? It's just pressure. Withering down their drive gauge and hoping that they don't perfect parry. That's literally what you're doing as Honda. You're just hoping that someone doesn't get a lucky perfect parry or is good at timing your special moves, right? And makes a good read. And a good Honda player could literally just walk up to you, right? You know, if they see that you're parrying a lot, you know, they could just walk up. Look at Honda's walk speed. It's not bad. He has decent walk speed, right? If he notices that you're parrying a lot, he can just walk up and grab you, right? He can command grab you, right? That's mostly the problem, right? He has a command grab, so you're worried about that on defense as well. So you tend to stand up sometimes, right? And you get hit, right? Right, doesn't get crazy Oki off of that sequence, but he pushes you towards the corner, right? And he kind of keeps you at this space where he can control what you're doing, right? And you can't really do much, but try to. I mean, you have a fireball, drive rush, right? That's different, right? I understand that Honda really gets clapped by fireball characters, but if you don't have a fireball, bro, you're playing like a really hard game, pretty much. Like it's very, very annoying to deal with him, right? You know, you're conditioned by a headbutt, butt slam. You get drive rush in your face, right? And then start just doing it over and over again, because it's too safe. It's too safe. His special moves are too safe, right? On block, they take so much drive gauge on top of that. And if you don't perfect parry, or even if you parry, you still plus a lot of times, right? +1, +2, right? -4, but spaced out to where you can just keep trapping you into stuff. But that's kind of my issue with Honda. What I think they should do is maybe take away like half of how much your drive gauge gets taken from a headbutt. I understand parries in the game, but there are sequences where you can just get a guaranteed, you know, that's more than a bar off of that sequence, right? Unless if I'm holding parry the entire time on the initial hit, I'm taking a lot of drive gauge for that, right? So he's slowly withering you down, forcing you to not want to block anymore, or be worried about perfect parrying or parrying. So that's when he starts his game, right? He can just start doing shit and going up to you and just doing shit to you, right? Because you're so worried about losing your drive gauge now, right? So it's messed up. It's definitely a messed up game. If you don't have a fireball or anything to deal with his headbutts or his neutral game, you're kind of just playing a mini game with him, right? As a Monopoly player, it's very difficult, right? Because he can kind of just do that. He can kind of just play around those special moves and keep chipping away at you, and you have to somewhat get in, right? So it's messed up. I mean, there's a lot of characters in the game that have that problem as well, with they don't have to hit confirm, right? There's a lot of safe options, right? I don't mind that. I don't mind it too much, right? To where characters can do situations to where they're safe, right? That's fine, right? Like Chun-Li, for example, has that too, where she can do the what do you call it, the stance, right, and be safe. This is safe, right, for the most part. It's -6, but she's safe in this space, right? So you don't really have to hit confirm, but on hit it combos, and you can link into a combo, you know, really late into the string, right? I'm not doing the stance. Oh yeah, do it late. Okay, but yeah, you get the idea, right? There's a lot of situations in this game where you just can make safe situations. You know what I mean? And then you have drive rush on top of that to even add more to it, right? So that's another issue. But yeah. All right, so all in all, what I think they should do is maybe make headbutt a little more punishable, right? Right. So depending on the headbutt that he does, he could be like -6 or 7, right? So that I can at least get a punish. You know what I mean? You know, I can hear which one he's using and then get a punish. Maybe make the one that goes the furthest most punishable. You know, you're doing a full screen move, damn near like a full screen dash punch, and you're -4, right? Like, come on, bro, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That should not be -4, in my opinion. That's crazy. But it's just so hard. Maybe he just needs a rework on some of. But it's Honda, you know what I mean? You can't just change him up because of his legacy, right? Oh, that's the problem, man. Legacy characters just they carry this broken ass shit with them. You know what I mean? Like, I know, man. It's part of the character's design, but damn, that's just so messed up in a game like this. You know what I mean? In a game like this, it's really tough to deal with that. And take away the amount of drive gauge, maybe a little bit. Maybe cut it in half. Maybe you don't have to cut it in half. Maybe just like, you know, 25% less, right? Where I'm not just getting tanked the whole bar of meter for blocking a headbutt. You know what I mean? For blocking a special move, but yeah. But that's my opinion with Honda. That should be changed, right? There's no hit confirming. Like, it's dumb. A lot of situations he doesn't have to hit confirm. He can hit confirm very late, right? With the hands, right? That's safe as well, right? And you can do this, right? Hit confirm in the last second into super, right? It's stupid, but yeah. Alright, on to next. Alright, so I'm gonna go over JP's amnesia real quick. I'm just gonna go over my ideas to changing it. And first I'm gonna show, like, I guess what the problem with it is, right? You know, you get an insane amount of damage for a counter that is very active. There's no way to punish it. You can't throw it. There's nothing you can do really. You can meet it and then go into options and then run away, right? Or try to do a super move. Like, there's options you can do to punish it if he goes into it. I understand that, but the orbs stay there, right? When you hit him, when you hit him after, the orbs stay there, right? So you eventually have to either parry or jump out or jump away from him, right? To move away from the spikes that are floating or whatever, or the little orbs that are there, right? And some attempts, if you try to throw him, you can literally like get tanked for like a solid amount of damage, right? Whoops. I know, I fucked up there. Hold on. Right. Right. So I took around like 50% for trying to grab him on a wake up amnesia, right? So it's pretty fucked up, right? There's a lot of situations where he gets insane amount of damage that he does not need to get. Now my idea to change it, I know this might sound crazy, like JP players are probably gonna mold at this, but in my opinion what I think should happen is that if JP does get a successful counter, keep it the same. But if he gets a successful counter, at least push him, like let him teleport to the other side of the screen. So he gets away, right? He got his, like, he's an escape character, right? That should be how it kind of is, right? He's not really an escape character, but being able to get that much damage, like, it doesn't really make sense. Let him, like, teleport away or something, right? If it's successful, he counters, teleports away to the other side of the screen, full screen. Maybe the orbs are still there, but he can't do anything. There's no punish, you know what I mean? He just gets away from the situation, right? Because that's the whole point of reversing. You want to get out of the situation, right? So if he does it, he should just teleport away, like make him teleport to the other side of the screen. He's away from the corner. He doesn't get any crazy damage combo that can kill you, right? He just gets space and gets away from the situation where he could zone at you again, right? With the two orbs there. That's my idea, right? It's kind of reworking the entire move, but not really. He's just teleporting away instead of just getting plus frames to punish you into a long combo, you know what I mean? But that's my idea. Maybe he should teleport away instead of being able to get plus frames to punish you for whiffing something, right? And he can still probably punish you for doing a drive impact, right? So that should probably be a thing. He should teleport away from you to zone you. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about that idea on changing JP's amnesia. And yeah, all right. So this issue I want to go over is corner pressure, right? So the problem with corner pressure or pressure in general is that a lot of characters' pressure can take a lot of drive gauge away from you, right? So for example, Ken has a lot of he has a lot of good light starters, right? You know, like this, right? And the thing is, they're very hard to drive reverse. You're not gonna just drive reverse with his lights because he can easily react to it, right? Unless if he's autopiloting, right? But usually, if you drive reversal like too late, like the best thing you could do is drive reversal this right here, right? You could drive reversal at the last second, right? You're not taking too much drive gauge, right? You know, most Kens after that last jab are gonna try to go into like another string or do a stand light kick. You know what I mean? They'll do this, right? So it can work, but drive reversing a light button is not as easy as it looks, right? He can easily just stop, right? In the middle of that, right? So it just makes his offense so good in the corner because it's too easy to react to a defensive option like parry or drive reversal, right? Like when he's doing a Jinrai, he can just stop short. If you're parrying, he can just grab you, right? So you're guessing, and then on top of that, he has throw loop, right? Throw loops wouldn't be a problem if they were in a loop, right? You're not looping through the same. The problem is that you're looping through the same situation over and over again. That's why getting thrown becomes more of a problem, right? Because you're looping over and over again to the same situation. It wouldn't be a problem if you weren't getting put into the same situation again, right? So it makes it a problem, right? So you're taking damage over time, right? Which you don't want to do in a sense, right? But on top of that, he has these block strings to where he can keep chipping your drive gauge down, right? You can do this, right? Like you lost 3 bars for trying to drive reversal Ken there. I didn't lose anything for doing that. So guess what? I'm just gonna throw a meter at you and drive rush behind it, right? I'm gonna throw EX firebar and run at you behind it because I have more bar anyways, right? You become a lot more readable because you're losing that drive gauge. So it costs 2 bars like a reversal, right? In my opinion, I think a reversal should be 3 bars, but I'll talk about that later. Maybe not, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah. So, in general, defensive options aren't strong enough. They're not fast enough to really cause a threat in these block strings, right? Right? There's too much OSing behind the block strings. I don't have to commit into these really, you know what I mean? I can stop short, I can do EX, right? There's just so many like sequences where I can make it safe to getting drive reversal. It's just really dumb. And in any of those situations I could throw you know what I mean? Right? Maybe not that, it's a little easier to see him walking up, but you get the idea. It's too easy. It's too much stuff you have on offense to where it's crazy, right? Meaty setups, right? He has a lot of meaty setups. If he gets a confirm, right? Like that's a medium to throw, right? Or a meaty setup? No, -3? No, mind. I think it's medium punch, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. You can do that. There's a lot of setups that, you know, lead into throw. So he has these sequences that if he hits you, he's still plus, right? You know, he had the same problem with Honda, right? Where he can just do a block string and kind of be safe. You know what I mean? That's punishable though. You can punish that. The low ender off of the light string is punishable. You can punish that with light kick. But the problem is that he doesn't have to go into the light, right? He can stop short, right? You can drive reverse, drive impact that sequence here, but are you gonna drive impact Ken off of a light? You're gonna take the risk? You know what I mean? It's just there's more risk on your side compared to him. That's the problem, right? So it creates this imbalance in offense and defense. The offense is too easy. It's too much better than defensive options that you have. The universal defensive option, let me put it that way. EXDP is different. EXDP is more of a plus, in my opinion. It's a good plus, but yeah, that's kind of my issue. That the risk reward is too on the offensive side when you're put into the corner to where it's really hard to get out of the situation. That's why when you get put into the corner against a lot of characters, you just get crapped on because there's really no easy way out. You could try to jump over the opponent, perfect parry, and get back thrown into the corner, right? There's just so many OSs and defensive, I wouldn't say defensive, I guess, offensive defensive options, if that makes sense. Offensive set plays that just break through all of that. That's the problem. And again, you know, the safe block string problem, right? You know, I hate that. You know, that characters have these just safe, unconfirmable options. It's so dumb. Now my idea to change that is maybe not make throw loops a thing. Maybe remove throw loops again, right? So I'm not getting looped through the same situation and making corner pressure from strike throw that hard to deal with, you know what I mean? I don't know why they gave people throw loops again. It doesn't make any sense. To take away that, just take away throw loops. Take away throw loops or just take away these ultra safe strings that you can do on hit that, you know, or block. It wouldn't be a problem. Offense wouldn't be so easy in those situations to where it's almost impossible to get out. Unless you have a reversal or something that your opponent has to worry about. Alright, so all in all, to take away corner pressure being so crazy is take away throw loops, right? So that strike throw doesn't just become just... Strike throw is too easy to apply in this game, right? Especially in the corner. And you get so much mileage off of a right guess in a strike throw situation, right? And then when you condition people are just going to sit there and then they have to just hold that. You know, they're lower on drive gauge, right? When they're blocking out all these sequences, right? You know what I mean? And all these sequences, Ken can kind of just late react, you know what I mean? And he's taking so much bar in the process that it doesn't matter that he lost 1 bar. He took away 3. The risk reward is not in his favor, right? So they should either make drive reversal not cost so much or make it better, make it faster, right? So, or maybe you get Oki off of it. No, that might be too much. I mean, characters with DPs get Oki off of it, right? There's characters that have DP reversals and get Oki, but yeah. I'll go over that in a little bit, but yeah. But they can do, there's many things they can do. They give the speed up drive reversal or make it cost less bar, right? Because trying to parry into a drive reversal is not going to do anything. Someone could just see that you're in a parry motion and just grab you, right? I know Dawson players, they wake up parry into drive reversal, but it really doesn't work like that all the time, man. Against characters that can just get into your face, you can't just do that, right? It's mostly they got hit because they didn't expect you to do it, more or less, right? But yeah, alright. On to the next. Alright, so the last thing I'm gonna go over is reversals. So, I feel like reversals, they just have too much utility, right? They cover a lot of options that, just because of the ease of use of doing it, right? You know, it covers a lot, right? If someone presses a button, if someone, you know, walk forward, you know, anything they do after a lot of situations in this game, a DP will save you, right? If that makes sense, right? So for example, let me just set up a situation like this. Alright, so a common thing that I'm gonna do is drive rush off of their normal, right? Into maybe command grab or not normal, right? So in this situation, to guess right, you have to jump, right? Or backdash, right? You have those options, but if you don't want to deal with any of that, you could just DP. You can just mash it. The thing about Luke too is that he gets Oki off of his reversal, right? So you're kind of spending around the same bar though, but I'm getting a DP where I don't have to worry about any mix. I'm not worrying about any mix up off of that. That's if depending on what you do. You can what do you call it? You can punish players that DPing, mash DPing, but yeah. For me mashing, because I don't want to guess, I get all this, right? I get offense on top of that. I mashed out of your pretty much a guaranteed situation, right? More or less, right? Depending on what the Manon does. You can beat out someone mashing DP, but you're losing more offense, taking away your 50-50 potential to not get DP'd, right? So you're losing offense. You're taking away things to not get DP'd, right? So that's another problem. Getting conditioned by DP is a lot scarier in this game because if you tend to walk back more, or whatever, right? Now I can wake up low forward into, you know, drive rush, right? Now I don't have to wake up and hit confirm into a button or super move, right? For example, on knockdown, right? Let me show another situation. So for example, on knockdown, if I see you walking back, right? I can get a lot of damage potentially, right? But most people don't just walk back like that to bait a DP. Some people will like sit there and then delay tech, right? The problem is that if you delay tech, a wake up jab will work. So, but I'm getting more mileage. That's the problem, if that makes sense, right? Like if I know you condition, I can wake up jab. I get more time to hit confirm, right? Whereas before, I would just do something like a jab into low forward into a special move, right? That's the most I can get. I can't get a whole conversion into drive rush. That's the problem. You can get potentially more leverage off of a right guess or knowing someone's condition, right? So that's kind of the issue with DP. And on top of that, it can beat out like a drive impact setup, right? Hold on. Oh, that's not normal. So I was gonna go over this as well. Hold on. Alright, so if Manon goes into a normal, you could just mash DP in a sense, right? And if I delay that any bit, like any tiny bit, if I delay the card's medium, because I'm too far, you could just mash DP and then just get through all that. But yeah, that's just another block string. But yeah. Alright, so another situation where DP can kind of save you is against drive impact sometimes. So you can legit like delay into a DP and beat out a drive impact. See, in some situations you get kind of out of there in a sense, right? For like late mashing on a drive impact, you can get out of that situation, right? So there's just so much leverage that it has. It's covering so many options, right? To where you don't need to use any of the universal options. You don't. Right? Why use drive parry and spend 2 bars on a drive parry when you could just not think about any of that and just DP through strings? You don't have to block, you don't have to guess on anything to drive reversal. You just DP and it gets through all of that, right? So that's the problem. There's a lot more, like it covers way more than drive reversal does. That's the problem with reversals in general. That's why it's so good. You're covering too many options, right? Depending on your reversal, right? I'm talking about mostly like dragon punches usually. Some other DPs don't work as good, like Jamie. Mostly because of just the height of it. Like he barely catches people, you know, jumping or whatever, but yeah. But some reversals are just, it's just good to have reversal in general. It just covers a lot of options in a game where, you know, a lot of drive rush happens and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Just DPing and getting out of that situation is just what you might need, you know what I mean? But yeah. That conditioning factor is so good in a game like this. So what they can do is just make it cost more. Make it cost 3 bars or something, you know what I mean? It costs as much as a drive reversal, but a drive reversal has less utility because you have to be blocking or in a parry state, which both can be problematic, right? Compared to a DP where you just do it, right? Like, you know, someone throws anything out, they just get hit, right? Anything, they get hit, right? For the most part, but yeah. It's very just, it covers way more than a drive reversal, but costs the same amount. That's the problem. So why ever use drive reversal if you have a DP? There's no point. Unless if you want to keep someone away, but a DP can do that too, so what's the point? It really doesn't make any sense. I don't think they should remove it. That might be a little too much. But they should be more, it should be more detrimental to use an EXDP, right? It should cost a lot more and players should think about using it a lot more than they do. A lot of situations, people just throw that shit out. They still have bar, right? To just go right in and get their combo conversion and kill you for saving a bar, you know what I mean? Other characters have to spend their super, but you could do a DP and then you save your super for your burnt out conversion, right? You burn yourself out, now you have a bar to kill someone, right? You know, it's dumb. Way more utility, that's the problem. All in all, my idea should be to make it cost more bar. It should cost 3 bars to do a reversal, not 2. 2 is too less. It shouldn't be the same as a drive reversal when it has more utility than a drive reversal. So yeah, that's my ideas on that. Alright, with that I am done. Thank you guys so much for sticking out to the end of the video. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think about my ideas on changing these things, right? My ideas on Honda, you know, JP's reversal, the defensive options, and I know I went over way more defensive options in previous videos. I will link those videos in the description. I have a playlist on my other discussion videos on this game, going over drive parry and stuff. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of, you know, my ideas for changing the game, and if you guys got any of your own ideas and opinions on stuff, just let me know. And with that, thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.